Assassin's Creed Shadows is just over a month away. So today I'm going to be talking through 5 reasons that Assassin's Creed Shadows might be bad. My name is James, and I started this channel simply because I love video games. If that sounds like you, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos just like this one. Today I've been catching up on all of the marketing around Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I chose 5 points to talk about for why Assassin's Creed Shadows might not be very good. The first one is pretty obvious, and that's just it's Ubisoft. It's not a secret to say that Ubisoft has been struggling lately. It seems like whenever they start to do something right, they quickly start moving in the other direction. I think about Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which came out in 2024, and how that game reviewed pretty well, but it didn't meet sales expectations, so Ubisoft decided that they're not moving forward on any more of those projects. Even though most Ubisoft series aren't great in their first entry. From Assassin's Creed to Watch Dogs to Far Cry, a lot of these series kind of took a couple entries to get going. We also saw the same thing with Immortals: Phoenix Rising. I guess it didn't sell very well because Ubisoft canceled their next Immortals game, and they decided to double down on some of their bigger sellers. My next one is kind of related to that. Ubisoft doesn't seem to know what to do with Assassin's Creed. Ever since they wrapped up Desmond's story in Assassin's Creed 3, there's been no real point to the modern day storyline. Up until we got to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where it seems like they're just doing insane stuff in the modern day just because they can. And then their last major Assassin's Creed game, which was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, people complained that game was just way too huge and bloated, and you weren't even stealthy, that there was hardly a way to play the game as a stealthy character, and it seemed like Ubisoft fundamentally forgot what Assassin's Creed was about. After that came Assassin's Creed Mirage, and they said that they were going to take the series back to its roots, which got people excited. It was a little more stealthy, but it seems like they didn't really know how to do that because they ended up taking a lot of personality out of Assassin's Creed. The game was now a lot smaller and less bloated, but it was also incredibly boring, and all of the areas in the game felt the same. Assassin's Creed Mirage was also the story missions were also very linear, and a lot of them could only be completed in one specific way, which is not what people have really grown to like about Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed Origins. And then that brings me to my third point, which is that in some of these Ubisoft action RPGs, they don't actually have real choice and consequence. They go out of their way to present the player with the illusion of choice. This is most obvious in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. In one of the early missions, you go and track down a character, and you're given the option to kill him or let him live, and you are told that this is actually a pretty significant decision because it will have impact on the rest of your journey. However, that's just blatantly not true. If you kill him, obviously he disappears, and the Spartan general that's directly below him gets upset at you and kind of holds this grudge against you. But if you choose to not kill him, he still disappears and go on this soul-searching journey, and the Spartan general directly below him blames you and still holds this same grudge against you. And so the problem with me here isn't that I think there needs to be a lot of choice and consequence injected into Assassin's Creed games. The problem is that I want Ubisoft to represent the series as what it actually is. So if that is going to be a choice-driven narrative action adventure RPG, then those choices should actually matter. But if Ubisoft has a specific story that they want to tell that it seems like they're going to tell you no matter what, then I want that to be known up front as well. The fourth reason that Assassin's Creed Shadows might be bad is that they're once again going with two protagonists. Not in the way that they did in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you get to just choose which one to play as for the entire game. More like what they did in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where you were going to be splitting your time between the two characters. And in Syndicate, I thought that was a cool idea, but I felt like there were some obvious issues with it. If you were mainly playing as one character between main missions and leveling up that character a lot, when you got to a mission where you had to play as the other character, you could end up in a spot where you don't really know what you're doing. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate specifically, there were lots of missions where you were told which character to play as, and then you would get to a mission where you got to choose, but instead of making the shared missions robust and unique experiences for either character, they instead just kind of dumbed it down to where anything that was available was doable by both characters. So it made it a more simplified version of the mission. And since then, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ubisoft hasn't shown that they've been able to figure out how to get multiple protagonists to work in a single game. Before I give my top pick, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. My top pick as to why Assassin's Creed Shadows might be bad is Ghost of Tsushima. Hear me out. 6-7 years ago, if Assassin's Creed Shadows were to come out, first Assassin's Creed game based in Japan, nothing like that has ever really been done before. Easy home run. You can tell the very easy story of a samurai who is kind of having an inner struggle between fighting with honor and fighting in the shadows. It's an easy win all around. Unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately and unfortunately, we already got that game in Ghost of Tsushima. So now Ubisoft has to figure out how to do an Assassin's Creed game in Japan where it doesn't just feel like they're copying Ghost of Tsushima. So Ubisoft really has some stuff to figure out here. They have to figure out, I assume they've already done it because the game comes out in a few weeks, but they really need to figure out how they're going to stand apart from this game. I think that no matter what they make in Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's gonna draw comparisons to Ghost of Tsushima. Even in some of the marketing materials that I've been going through lately, some of the combat, some of the way you interact with characters, some of the way that you interact with the world looks a lot like Ghost of Tsushima. And I think that's something that they really need to watch out for. That's all I have to say about why Assassin's Creed Shadows might be bad. In the comment section, please let me know what you're thinking about this game. And until next time, the best way to keep up with me is on Twitter and on Instagram at James_Solar and on Blue Sky at jamessolar.bsky.social. Thanks, guys.